Hi guys, so I wasn't gonna really do a video today, but I'm going to try and make a laptop case out of these Dollar Tree dish mats, like, just regular Dollar Tree dish mats that you get in Dollar Tree. And they are 12 by 18, and they already have that foam in them, which you generally need when you make laptop sleeves, because you wanna make them cushiony to protect your electronics, so laptop sleeves or iPad or anything like that. I mean, you don't need to, you can use fusible fleece, but I thought this would be great to make something like that because there is that foam in there already. Now, I did make myself a pattern according to my laptop. So my laptop is 14.5 inches. So I have made myself a little pattern and I rounded the corners because I'm going to, instead of just putting zipper up here, I'm going to put the zipper all around. So it's gonna go, and then I'm gonna have a gusset down here. So I have cut 2 pieces of the mat, and I could cut it or cut it. I could cover it with fabric and quilt it, but I don't want to. I like this fall theme print, so I'm gonna leave that. And I was originally put, or I was going to originally put like this fabric on the inside, like a lining, but because I'm doing this the first time and I'm just kind of trying to figure out correct measurements for this to work, I don't think I'm going to put any lining because this already has this finished back anyway. It's kind of like feels like microfiber. And I do need to do bind. I need to bind the inside anyway, just the way the laptop is constructed. So all I'm going to do is just basically put the zipper into this and have the gusset on the bottom. So I have these 2 pieces cut, so now I need to cut myself a gusset that goes at the bottom of the laptop. So I decided that I'm gonna do 11 inches long. So I'm going to cut this. Oh, maybe I should actually open this thing. So I need to do 11 inches because that's what I kind of decided that I'm gonna go with, and then we'll see if I want to change anything in case I do make more of the laptop sleeves. I can always change stuff in the next piece. So I need 11 inches, and then I need the width of the zipper, which is I think 1.25 inches. Okay, so I'm going to cut this. I'm gonna give myself 1.75 inches. I can always trim that down, but if it's too small, I don't really want to be adding anything onto this. So so here we go, 11 by 1.75 inches, and then I'm just gonna trim what I need to trim. Oh, this stuff just leaves these little bolts of something all over my cutting board. Okay, so then we have the laptop thing. So then that will, can you even see that? I think you can, kind of. That will go to the bottom, and the zipper will be sewn into this, basically make a circle, or well, it's not a circle, well, yeah, I guess a closed circle. Okay, so I'm going to need to figure out though how much zipper do I need. So if my laptop thing is, it's 15, okay, 15.5. So we have this, that's 11 inches. And I know that the 1/4 inch is going to be taken off on each side for the seam. So that's minus 1/2 inch. So that's 14 and, oh, 14, 10.5 inches. Okay, so if I, so the half of 15.5, right? The half of 15.5 is going to be what, 7 3/4? Yeah, I'm much better in centimeters than inches, but yes, I think it's 7 3/4. Yeah, because 7.5 and 7.5 is 15, and then I need 15.5, so that's, yeah, 7 3/4. So we know that middle, pardon my reach, so 7 3/4 is the middle of this sleeve, this piece here. So if I find the middle of this, well, it's 5.5 because it's 11 inches, right? So it will be right there. Okay, so that's half. So I'm going to need to add, and because I'm losing a 1/4 inch, it's actually ending up being at 10.5, but right now I just need to figure out the length of the zipper that I need. So we have 11.5, which is coming up to about here. So I'm gonna mark that. Oh, come on. Okay, this is a heat erasable pen, so it will disappear, so I'm not worried about this. Okay, so what I need to do, I think I may be better using the zipper already, zipper tape. Oh, I shouldn't have opened that, but whatever. So if I go with my zipper, actually, let's separate that anyway. Okay, let's just use one side of the zipper. So if I go with my zipper and I know that I need to come to there, okay, so we're gonna lightly put the zipper around this so that I can figure out what the length of my zipper needs to be. So it's going there. I'm gonna need to add a 1/4 or 1/2 inch to that, but that's okay, right? A 1/4 inch, yeah. So we go around and we go around and around and around there, and oh, come on, and around there. So the zipper length is right here. I'm just gonna, where's my scissors? Oh, whoop, right here. I'm just gonna do a small clip right here in the zipper. Okay, so that's now telling me what the length of the zipper needs to be. Okay, so the length of the zipper, where is this cut? Oh jeez, I lost it. Oh, come on. Oh, this is funny. Okay, I've just put the cut somewhere. Oh, right there. Okay, uh-oh. So let's see what the length of the zipper needs to be. Oh, this is pretty long. Wow, this is way past. Okay, so we have 33 inches. Okay, this is gonna be let's go over here. I'm just gonna fold that over and figure out what that will be. So there's the cut in my zipper, just a little snip. So if I fold that in half, that's gonna tell me, okay, so I have 19 and a half, plus I need to add another 1/2 inch, so 20 inches, so 40 inch of zipper. That's what I need. Yeah, 40 inches, because I have 19 here. Right? Yeah. So 19 and 19 would be 38 plus the 1 inch, right? So it's 39 inches of zipper. Okay, so I need 39 inches of zipper. So I'm just gonna cut that. Now I know, so I'm gonna write that down into my pattern so that I remember. 39 inches of the zipper. 39-inch zipper tape number 5 and 2 pulls, because I'm gonna put 2 zipper pulls so that you can open and close from each side, or that I can open and close from each side. Okay, so where is my, I keep losing that cut. Okay, so right there, right there. Well, no, I need half an inch past that. Almost forgot about that. So it's actually, yeah, it was 39 because I said 19 and 19 is 38 plus the half an inch on each side of the zipper, or quarter inch. So that's half an inch altogether. So I need to cut it right here. Okay, and I need another piece of the zipper tape the same length. Oh. Hopefully that's a correct measurement. If it's too long, I can always fix that, but if it's too short, then I can't add more zipper to it. Okay, so first thing I need to do is I need to add these zipper pulls to the zipper tape. Okay. So I'm gonna try without my fork system and see if I can get that done. Okay, so let's install the zipper pulls. Please work. I don't want to fiddle with this forever. Please stay. Oh. Please stay, please stay. Please work. Oh, okay, so there's one. Am I doing this correctly, or do they need to go? Oh no, I do need to put them. Yeah. Because you're closing them this way, because you're closing your laptop this way. Yeah, okay, that's correct. Okay, and then I need to try and put the other side of the zipper pull on this side. I could just separate that a little bit, but I really hate doing that. Okay, let me just trim this up a little bit here. Oh, let's hope we can get this done properly and not have bubble in my zipper, because bubbles are no good in your zippers. You don't want no bubbles. Ah, there is a bubble. I'm sorry. Talk amongst yourselves, or to yourself. Come on. I don't want a bubble. Oh, did I get this done? Oh my goodness, look at that. Wow. Okay, so now we have 2 zipper pulls, so they go one on each, on opposite side, right? So when you open your laptop, you can actually, instead of just having one zipper pull need to go all the way around your case, you have two, and then you can just open it to each side. It's just easier that way. Now I'm thinking, if I make more of these, if anybody wants any, I'm thinking of maybe adding a pocket, like a slip pocket inside the case. So like right on each side of the case, or maybe just on one side, just have a pocket with like maybe like a snap or something, so that maybe you can put something in there, like a notebook or something like that, so that it's not floating around with your laptop. But that's, so I would just basically add a piece of fabric like that, and so you would have a pocket here, and then the zipper comes right inside around the case. But right now I'm just going to do very simple case because I want to see if my measurements are correct and if this works. I mean, even if it doesn't fit my laptop, I think it will, but even if it doesn't, I just really want to see if this works. It should work, because the Bible sleeves that I have made them the same way. So okay, do I have I wanted to melt the zipper ends, but I can't find my lighter. Okay, I'm not gonna worry about any of that. This is just for me, and I'm just experimenting to see if it's gonna work. So basically what I need to do is I need to sew right side of the zipper to right side of this, and I gotta sew that across with a 1/4 inch, and then bring the zipper to the other side and sew it there, so that I'm basically creating a loop. So I'm going to do that. Hopefully you guys won't fall out. Well, you're not gonna fall out, you might fall off of the stand. Okay, let's hope my bobbin is not going to be emptying like as soon as I start sewing. Oh. I also made this using these dish mats. It's kind of cool. You can make little things, so that's why I was saying, like, I was gonna do some videos with these dish mats, so anybody who is just starting to sew, you don't need to spend lots of money to learn how to sew, or if you're, you know, like new to sewing and you just don't have funds for all the expensive fabrics and everything, you can literally go to Dollar Tree and just grab a couple of dish mats, and they even have fabric sometimes, like a fat quarters, which is basically a piece of fabric that's about, here in Canada it's like 19 inches by 22, I think, or 18 by 21 because it comes from the States. So and you can sew, right, until you figure out if that's something you want to do or not. You don't need to spend lots of money. Okay, so we need to sew this down. And because this is the plastic zipper, like it's a nylon zipper, these teeth, they look like they're metal, but they're not. You can sew over the zipper teeth. If you have a metal zipper though, do not sew over the metal zipper teeth, because you'll break your needle. Okay, so now we have this piece sewn there, and then I'm gonna fold that and top stitch. Okay, so we'll top stitch this side here. Okay, my sewing machine. I think it's a denim needle. I think it's either denim or leather. Sewing denim or leather. The needle is not denim or leather. it's for sewing denim or leather, so they're pretty thick needles. Okay, and now I need to make a loop. So now I need to go to the other side, and I need to sew it to the other side of this. Now I gotta make sure that I'm sewing it nice and even so it's not offset, because this piece is a little bit wider. Okay. Now when if I make another one of these and I add a lining, then I'm also going to need to cut the lining pieces. So I'm going to need to cut the front and back of the lining piece, and I'm going to need to cut the lining piece for the gusset. Yeah, that's it. And then if I decide to put the pockets, like a slip pocket inside the case, I'm going to need to do that as well. But right now I am just trying to see if, I mean, it should work. As I said, the construction should work. So okay, so now as you, there's just a full loop. Okay, and then we have 2 zipper pulls like that. Okay, so now let's hope that the zipper is correct, because if not, I'm going to need to, it should though, looking by this, it should be fitting around nice. Okay, so now what we are going to do, we are going to fold this, and I'm gonna find the middle of the top and the middle of the other side. Okay, and we have another piece here. Oh, as you can see, these are not gonna even match. One is like a sage green, one is like burnt orange, but whatever, as I said, this is for me, so I'm not worried about that. I don't really use laptop sleeves much because my laptop is always at home. I don't really take it anywhere. I don't really go anywhere. And I've been looking for a part-time job. And I mean, even when I managed to find that, I'm not going to be taking my laptop sleeve with me anywhere, because I'm just going to work in retail basically, so I don't need laptop with me. Okay, so I've marked that. Okay, now what I'm going to do, I'm going to fold these things, and I'm going to mark a middle right in this little, this thing here. Okay. Okay, well, if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Okay, so it doesn't matter which top, which front. This is not directional print. It's just leaves are kind of facing all over, everywhere, every direction. So now basically what I need to do is I need to take this, and I need to find this thing, this mark here. Okay, and I need a bunch of clips. So I need to clip that there, and then I'm going to, now it might, I'm gonna try, I didn't mark the middle of this zipper here. Okay, let's do that before I do anything else. So Okay, so gonna fold that, and generally I don't like clipping the zipper tape, but I'm just going to clip this one just a little bit now. Okay. Okay, so now we need to no, we don't need to cut anything. We need to find this mark here and this mark here and line it up with each other. Okay, and we're gonna flip it to the other side and find this one here, this mark here in the zipper, and we are gonna line that mark with the mark on the top here. Okay, and what that's gonna do when you clip and you mark your pieces, then if you have, it's gonna help you not get things kind of crooked. Okay, so now what I need to do, I basically need to go around each piece that we have, and I need to put the zipper tape to fit around this. And let's hope now in this corner here I am going to need to clip the zipper tape a little bit. I know it's not a greatest idea, but I might melt it with the lighter a little bit after. And actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to open, let's take this off. It's easier if the zipper is open. If your zipper tape is open, it's easier to work with just one side of the zipper tape because it's easier to maneuver that around. It's not as stiff. So what I need to do is I basically need to go around and I need to clip this zipper tape around this thing. Now I might need to play with it a little bit so it fits in good, but I think it, for the most part, it should be okay. Okay, I gotta clip on this corner here a little bit as well. I'm not clipping too much, and as I said, because there is going to be binding on this, because you gotta, the way this is put together, if you don't bind the edges on the inside, and basically when I say binding, it's like when you make quilts and you need to bind the quilt, like the edge around the quilt. That's what I'm gonna need to do here, because otherwise I'm gonna have a raw edge. That's just the way these laptops, this type of sleeves need to be put together. You need to bind them. There's no other way around it, really. At least I don't think there is. I haven't thought of any other way of getting this done. When you have a zipper that goes around like this, it would be different if the zipper was just on the top. Then you don't need to do binding because you're not gonna have any raw edges. But because with this there will be a raw edge, but I need to trim that down, but right now. Okay, and now I need to, so this side seems to fit fine from what I can see. And then we're just gonna go around here and we're gonna need to sew that down. And same around this corner here. Just gonna sew that corner down as well. It's just gonna be with a 1/4 inch. Okay, and then I need to do it the other way. So I'm gonna open the other side of the zipper tape as well. Okay, leave this one in here. So now I'm gonna do the same with the other side. I think I measured the zipper correct from what I can see. Okay, again I gotta clip a little bit of this zipper tape here. So that it can go around the curve, so that it's not creating like pleats. Okay, and then we gotta come up the sleeve up the side. And then we have the other edge here that we need to do the same thing too. Now maybe I can try and clip the fabric, because it's always easier or preferred to clip the fabric, not the zipper. I might need to release the little bit of a zipper somewhere here. Maybe down here or something. I just need a tiny bit. But all in all, I think I have cut, I measured the zipper tape correctly. From what I can see. Because you don't want it to be too short, but then you don't want it to be too big either, because then it's gonna be all wavy and wobbly. I might need to move. Oh, it's still getting caught in there. I might need to move this just by a tiny bit over there. Just kind of push it just to release a little bit of this zipper here. I don't know if you guys can see that. I think you can. Okay, so I gotta put that there. Okay, so now what I have is just a zipper, one side of the zipper tape placed all around the sleeve, and I need to sew that down. And then I need to do the same with the other side of the thing, right? So I'm gonna need to place it here and sew that, and then you're going to have the sleeve. So, okay, I'm just gonna move you over there. So many things around my sewing machine here. It's just in the way. Okay, let's try and sew this. Wish me luck. I'm going to start. I'm gonna start down at the bottom of this thing, although I need to. Okay, so we are gonna do a 1/4 inch seam and start right at the bottom here. I'm gonna increase the stitch length to, I don't know, about 3, I think, because this is a pretty thick fabric, so the thicker the fabric, your stitch length needs to be longer than if you're just sewing a thin piece of cotton, because your stitch needs to be long enough to kind of get through those layers of fabric properly. Now I didn't trim this, so this is okay. I just have a bit of extra of this thing here. I'm just gonna trim that a little bit so it's even with the zipper. Okay, let's hope my bobbin doesn't run out, because that's been known to happen many times. Okay, so we are going to sew that around. So we need to go all the way around, and we need to end up at the same spot down there. So let's go back stitch. Make sure that the edges of the fabric are matching. Okay, now I do have a zipper here, a zipper pull. Don't want my needle to hit that. Okay. Back stitch over this part here where there's like a, okay, I'm gonna pull this zipper pull just a bit. I'm gonna need to do that while I'm sewing this because I can't generally get around the zipper pull. Now when you go around these corners, you gotta take your time, like don't rush or anything. Okay, there we go. Push the zipper past. Okay, now I gotta do these corners and I'm gonna take my time because I do want them to come out good. And I just help myself with this little tool because I don't want to have my fingers close to the needle. Okay, so keep turning. I might decrease my stitch. Generally when you go around the corners and stuff, sharp curves, decrease your stitch down to as small as you can go, because that's okay. That one is good. That helps you get around the curves much easier than if you have very long stitch. So I'm gonna leave my stitch on a bit shorter around, I think. Okay. Okay, now make sure that this is, I should have, okay, no, it's fine. I could have put the binding around at the same time as the zipper tape, but like I said, right now I am just trying to see if my pattern is correct, basically, if my measurements are right for the, at least for 14.5-inch laptop. Yeah, 14.5 by 10, I think, something like that. Okay, going around another curve here, and I'm just making sure that my zipper is not, the zipper teeth are not being sewn over. Okay. Almost to the other corner here. Okay. Make sure that my zipper sits in there good. Just a little bit fiddly when you come around the corners, because that's why this little pointy tool helps, because I can't really get my fingers in there to fix the zipper tape good, but this thing helps. Okay, put my foot down. Okay, almost around this corner as well. Time. Okay. Looks good on there. Yeah, so there's a corner and the zipper just goes around. So we have one more corner left here. It's already 40 minutes of the video. How does that go so fast? Okay, so we are on the last corner here. Slowly turn the curve around. Go. Okay. And we are down to the last part of the zipper. I should be able to sew this without moving my zipper. No, let me move the zipper pull without breaking my little piece off. There we go. Okay, so this is where the end of the zipper tape is, back stitch, and then I just need to finish to get back to where I started. Yep. And connect with that beginning of that stitch. Okay, so one side is sewn with the thread. Okay, so now we flip. So that's one side of the zipper. Now I think I need to go around and I need to top stitch this so that it keeps that edge down, but everything looks nice, like the corners are nice and finished. They're all sewn in. Okay, so that is one side. Okay, so that's kind of, can visualize that. So that's one side of the laptop sleeve, right? So I gotta put the other side onto this side, and then the zipper is basically in there, going all around like that. So what I need to do is I need to go around now, and I need to top stitch this. Oh. Okay, so trying to think what's the best way of doing this. I'm going to undo the zipper again. It's just going to be easier, I think. So I am going to, because that needs to go that way. Yeah, so I'm going to start. Why did I do that? I don't know. That's weird. Okay, so I'm going to push my seam up, push that under the laptop, under the machine, and I'm going to, I could do a quarter. I'm just trying to think. Yeah, no, I'm going to do a 1/8 of an inch top stitch around. I don't think I want to do a 1/4 inch because my seam is a 1/4 inch. If my seam was bigger, then I would do a 1/4 inch. Like if my seam was 1/2 inch, so. Okay, so now I'm gonna put it to 4. Oh, you know what? No, I don't need to. No, I don't need to top stitch this because I gotta put the binding inside, and I cannot, if I top stitch, then I cannot put the binding inside, so never mind. No. Good thing I realized that, or remember that. Okay, so I'm just gonna undo this little bit that because no, I gotta put the binding here. Like when I'm done, I gotta take a piece of fabric and I gotta sew it yet around, all around the thing, to enclose this raw seam with the binding, so that it's not the raw seam like that and kind of ugly looking. Okay, so That is why I cannot up stitch that around. Okay, good thing I remember that. Okay, so now I need to take this other piece and put it to this side here. Did I mark the, yeah, I did. Okay, so right side to right side. Cool. Okay, so now I need to do this other side of the zipper tape, and I gotta put that to this side here. Okay, so match the clip part to the clip part, and again clip it all around. Okay, these clips are so helpful because it would be very hard to use like pins to pin this around because it's so thick. The pins would just bend. Okay, and I'm gonna match the top. Snippy snip. I'll make sure that I don't twist the zipper tape. Okay, so the right side of the zipper teeth to the right side of the fabric. Okay, I did mark the right there. Okay, and match that with the marking up here. And do the clippy. And now we need to put that around here. So just the same thing that we did on the other side, we gotta do on this side. So sewing is just sometimes lots of repeating of the process of the step. Besides just a lot of cutting and ironing, it's a lot of repeat work. Okay, I'm gonna clip fabric just a little bit to release the tension of the fabric, and then I'm gonna clip the zipper as well. And again, gotta place it around here. So like that. Ow, this clips is just like an exercise on itself for my fingers because some of them are so hard to open up. It's like literally you're exercising your fingers. You'll have fingers like a Hulk on one of your hands anyway. Okay. And down here, so I gotta clip that and get this corner situated in. So again, I'm gonna clip a little bit of fabric and then a little bit of a zipper tape. I might melt that later with the lighter those edges of the zipper just so that it doesn't, I mean, I don't know, it's possible for the zipper to maybe fray if you clip it, but okay. So now we just need to do the other side of this thing. Dun, 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 dun. Don't mind my singing. I know I shouldn't quit my day job, although I don't have a day job. Hopefully soon, I guess. It is so hard to find any work here in Canada. It's ridiculous. Okay, we're coming around another corner here. So clip the fabric, clip a little bit of a zipper tape. Anytime when you're clipping anything like zipper tape or fabric, those clips always need to be kept inside your seam allowance. So if your seam allowance is 1/4 inch, make sure that your little clips are like 1/8 of an inch. If your seam allowance is a 1/2 inch, you can make a little bit of a bigger clips, the clips into your fabric, or snips, or whatever you want to call them, I don't know. Just make sure that it's inside your seam, so that when you're sewing, you don't have holes in your seams, because that's what would happen if you cut them bigger than your actual seam. Okay, just gonna move that zipper down a bit. Zipper tape, there we go. Okay, and now we are on the last corner here. We're gonna clip a little bit of fabric here, and then we are going to, oh, I forgot to put the zipper a little bit. Ow. Not my not my fingers, the zipper, Milena. Don't clip your freaking fingers. Okay. Move that there a little bit. Do I have any of those smaller clips? Because these are chunky. Chunky. Okay, so now I've added the zipper to the other side. So now I need to do the same thing. I gotta sew that around. And then, well, for this one, it will be the moment of the truth. Let's see, there's my laptop, is right over here. From what I'm seeing, it should fit. Oops. Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, that's gonna have plenty of room. I might even be able to put my cords, like the big clunky laptop chunks that you have of cables, put in. Okay, and then I do need to add binding to this, but now I don't know, since this is only for me and I'm just really trying to see if this works, I might not even put the binding in it. This might just be okay, it works, it doesn't work, I need to change stuff, or I don't. And then the next one, I'm actually going to put the lining on the inside so that it has a nice fabric on the inside, and add a pocket like a halfway up, have a slip-in pocket where you can maybe, as I said, put a notebook or something, or maybe even you might be able to put your cable and your laptop cable in there. I don't know, but let's sew this side. Okay. Hi. Okay, so this is the last side that we gotta sew. Put the stitch down from the last one. Okay, we're gonna sew it this way with the zipper on the top, because that's easier. Because I gotta be able to see where my zipper tape is, so I don't get it all twisted on me, or don't get pleats in it. Okay, and we gotta make sure that we don't catch this part in it. Okay, so I gotta make sure that I'm keeping with that fabric underneath though, because I didn't trim the edge down. So okay, so I'm gonna close this zipper pull just a little bit. What time is it? 1:22. I have already been doing this for 55 minutes, so almost an hour that it's taking me to do this. Plus, if I'm doing lining, I also need to do the exactly same steps with the lining. So, to make a laptop sleeve like this, it could take you start to finish 2 to 3 hours if you're gonna take your time and make sure that things are done correctly, and you know, you're not rushing through anything and cutting corners. It will probably take about, yeah, I'm gonna say 2 to 3 hours. Probably not less than, oh, this little thing got caught here. Probably not less than 2 hours. Unless somebody else cuts everything for you, like all the pieces, and then you can just sew, then it probably would take you only maybe hour maybe. But when you gotta sew everything or cut everything and then sew, it takes a long time. And then something like this, it's, as you can see, it's very fiddly. You gotta really pay attention around the corners if you want the thing to come out properly and not look like crap. So, okay, I'm gonna open this. Oh, okay. So yeah, anyway, from about 2 to 3 hours, I'm gonna say. With adding the lining and the binding and the zipper, and as I said, if I wanna add that extra pocket in there, so all that, I'm gonna go about 2.5 to 3 hours. So if I'm paying myself a minimum wage of $15 in Alberta, that means only for my labor is for 45. I'm gonna say 3 hours, $45. Plus then you gotta count your material into that, and in this case I'm just using a dish mats from Dollar Tree, so really that's negligible. But if you're buying the foam that you need that goes into these types of things, that's very expensive. And then fabric and everything, so yeah, it can get pretty pricey to make a laptop sleeve like this, and also depends on the size of a laptop, right? If you need a bigger sleeve like this, or if you just need a small one for, like, let's say an iPad. And sometimes the smaller things are more fiddly to sew because they're small. So sometimes they might take longer to sew, as a matter of fact, just because they're small and they're much more fiddly, and because you work with smaller pieces, like, right? As when you're working with bigger pieces, it's much easier to work with bigger pieces, easier to maneuver them around, easier to hold them. You have more room for everything, basically. Yeah, I'm just taking my time around these corners because I really want them to be nice, and I'm gonna need to make sure that my zipper didn't get caught in there, because I'm gonna need to go back and fix that. Okay. No, it didn't. It doesn't have any pleat in it. Okay, I'm almost on the third. third corner here. So we're almost done, because I'm not going to do, like, as I said, I don't think I'm gonna add binding to this because it's just for me, and it was just a trial to see if it works. But if I'm making any more of these, then I would definitely add the lining and the binding to it to close it off. So that means I need to take the piece of fabric, cut it onto the bias, and do the exactly same thing again around each side of the zipper, so that I can basically put fabric around this raw edge here and enclose it into that casing so that you can see that. So as I say, just like when you see the quilts being bound with fabric around to enclose the raw edge, that's basically what it is. And that's also pretty fiddly to do. Okay, I do have a smaller zipper foot that I can probably install onto my machine, so that I'm needing to it will be easier to get around the corners, because it's a very narrow zipper foot, like, or not zipper foot, but just a walking presser foot. It's just a very, very narrow, so that you can go and sew around things that you might not have enough room for a regular foot, and you can use a very narrow foot. I think it's like 1/4 inch wide or something like that. Okay, oh, look at that, we are almost done. Almost done. Do, 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 do. Pivot, pivot. Okay, we are down to the wire. Okay, oh jeez. Okay, I'm gonna move this zipper pull. Come on. Oh, there we go. Okay, we are at the end here. So we just need to connect it to where we started. Okay. That's funny. I have one side sage and one orange. Oh well, yes, I said it is just a trial, just to see if it works. And it is only for me. And if I did put the lining in here, like if I put the fabric in here, actually, then you wouldn't even know that there is a different different color. Okay, so that is done. So the zipper length was correct for the 14.5 inch. I had a correct amount of, or the length of the zipper. I'm not going to clip anything here right now. Okay, so now basically we are just gonna fold it over, and you're gonna close your case. Sometimes around the corners, I'm thinking that my zipper, oh no, it didn't get caught. What it is, it's this, that's why I need to do that binding and trim. I might need to trim around the corner a little bit here, the fabric, because as it folds up. But there it is, see? So the zipper comes around, all around, and this is the bottom, and then you have a zipper. So, and then you have two zipper pulls, which means that if you want to lock your laptop, like if you have a small mini like a lock or something, you can actually lock it, and then nobody can steal your laptop. Well, I mean, they can literally cut through the fabric, and but if you do want to. Okay, so let's see if my laptop will fit, the moment of truth. Yeah, this fabric is definitely getting caught into my zipper. So I think that I'm going to, well, the thing is, once you have, there we go. Yeah, this needs to be, once I put the binding in, well, in this case I can actually just stop stitch that down, and that's gonna keep my seam away from the zipper teeth, and it's not going to be catching in. But once you put the binding in there, I think I'm gonna take the binding and kind of sew it to one side or something so that it doesn't get caught into my zipper. But let's see if my laptop fits in here. Pardon my reach. So this is my laptop. That might be a bit small, I don't know. Oh no, it's not. It's perfect. Look, guys. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god, guys. Look, it's perfect. Absolutely perfect. Like, it fits perfect. I don't think I would have, if I wanted to, like, I would be able to fit a notebook in here, I think. Not very thick notebook, mind you, but maybe not this. What do I have? What do I have? What do I have? Dun, 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 dun. Well, that's small. I don't think, well, let's see. This is, what is this? 6 by 9. But it does have the coil thing, so I'm not sure that that would, I'm not sure that that will fit. Now, I maybe would add a little bit of, well, maybe not, well, it might fit. Yeah, it does fit. Look at that. Like, it's perfect. So the zipper comes all the way around. My laptop fits in perfect, and you have two zippers to open. The laptop is in there. Like, it's a nice tight fit. Like, it's not tight that it's like you can't put it in there, but it's a nice fit. I think you might actually be able to add your laptop cord in there as well, I think. But this fits perfect. Like, it's absolutely perfect fit, and it's got extra room, as you saw. I can put this notebook in here. Like, it's got room. See, like, it's not tight. And if I can fit this notebook in there, which is like kind of chunky with this coil stuff, then I would think you would be able. I don't want my cord and everything is plugged in there now. As a matter of fact, I lost part of it behind the desk now. Gonna need to be fishing for that. But it does have a little bit of extra room, but maybe I could add a 1/2 inch extra all around, so that means 1 inch extra. But it fits perfect. And then add the binding to it, and then sew that binding down so that it keeps it from going into the zipper. But no, it's perfect. So there we go. So that was correct measurements. My laptop fits in there. It's nice and cushiony, and it's made from a Dollar Tree dish mat. Yay!